Alrighty, so week 2, part 2, classwork. One thing as I was rewatching that video that I just produced, and by the way, it's really interesting to rewatch yourself and realize I could have done such a better job. But sometimes you just have to get through it. You just have to do it. So the thing about the office hour is that if my office hour doesn't work for you during those times that I showed you, contact me, right? And if I can make it work, I will. I will be here because it is my job to be of service to you. So please allow me to do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cover a couple more topics that are important to the class, and then I'll have a couple more videos I'm going to have you watch. Actually, I'm going to have you watch the video on quizzes, and I'm going to have you watch the video on posting my IT lab scores and taking notes on those. Okay, so again, we should have a new header here, which is the part 2. It's not a header 2. Not a header 1. It'd be like a header 2. Okay. All right, so turning back over here, so let's look at this. So late work. So I allow students to submit work late. It is discounted 25% of whatever the total points are. So typically, most items are worth 100 points. Now, by the way, it doesn't really matter how many points they are because it's really based on a percentage. But overall, 25% reduced, which means, right, if you submit something late, sorry, I didn't mean to go there. If you submit something late after I've graded for that after the due date, then it'll be removed. The 25% will be removed. Okay, so that's better than nothing, right? So, and it just is my way to encourage you to just keep going with the work, because my classes, some classes are like you don't have a lot and then boom, you have a big test, and then you come back down and you have another big test. Well, my class is more of like a marathon, right? So it's kind of like it's steady. There's always going to be the number of items that we have per week, and students tell me at the beginning that it feels like it could be overwhelming, but really once they get into it, they realize it's just a matter of, and this is good for all of us, to organize our time and be cognizant and scheduling ourselves and self-disciplined, right? So those are all good things. So now back to this, is that 25% off. You can get those points back, okay? So you remember me talking about when we were talking about the My IT Lab, and I said you want to do the trainings. Well, there's going to be things through the semester, and those trainings are going to be some of them that if you complete those trainings, you will, for each training you complete, you can get for each item you submit late those points back. And what I will end up having you do is create a late points removed Google Sheet showing those items, and I'll give you examples. As a matter of fact, in the somewhere in Canvas, I will give you a link to something that shows the example of what I'd want to do. And the reason I recommend this now is that as you're doing the trainings, most likely already, go ahead and keep track of them so that you can use them in the future to get the points back that are removed, right? So here's the deal. You get points back, but you still have to do the work. It's not a substitute for the work. It's just that the points that you were reduced, you can get back again for trainings. But I will offer through the semester a couple other things that you can do to get those points back as well. Okay? All right, so in week 2, we have my screens. Okay, so turning to Canvas now. The video, I'll just give you the heads up, so put this in your notes, and hopefully all of that went in your notes already, is that this is from a previous semester. Actually, it was just last semester, I think, but maybe it was semester before, but it's still really good because it talks about how to do print screens on Windows, Mac, and it talks about how to resize them. So I want you to know it is an older video. I still want you to embed and I should say images here because they're not photos, they're print screens, which are really images, right? So I want you to embed them. But I'll also let you, in this work, also link them, because you're going to have a print screen for your main system, and then I want you to have, and I'm really asking you to think about having an alternative, right? So an alternative place for students in the lab, it'll be the lab computer. For students at home, it might be their neighbor's computer, their family members, right? So go find an alternative. Have that in mind so that if something happens, you know you can go somewhere. So I'm going to show you also in this video how to resize them, right? And then I also want you to learn how to take, if you don't already know how, to take a print screen on your mobile device. And again, I've provided helpful helpful links here to show you how to do that, because in the video I only show how to do it on the Android device. Okay, and so here's what I want to say. And I have this shown here. So I've showed in the week one is how to do the embed, right? So I just want to, just a little review. So you're uploading this to the shared with everyone, double clicking here. And then in here, right, so you get the pop out. And this may have changed. I noticed Ian on the online posted some additional help here for anybody running into issues. I don't know if Google changed this or this was the browser, but right, so open in a new window. And here is then where you get that embedded item and you get that HTML to cut and paste, okay? So the other thing I want to show you is that at least for one or two of these, because if we do all of them, it'll just be a lot of images. So maybe you do maybe your main desktop, and then for the other two, you just do this process, which is you just grab the link. And again, you can use a combination. I'm not gonna dictate this, and you can put like my desktop. And then instead of doing the embed in some of these, you can just click, drag, and then link, and then paste, right? Insert link. Now I do want to show you this, and again, this idea of the HTML editor, and we're learning HTML in a couple weeks, so it doesn't hurt. The thing about doing it this way is that students, when they click on it, it won't open in a new window, and it'll make this really look funky. So what I want you to do is go into the HTML editor. If you do the links, right, again, I'm going to let you I want at least one of them done embedded, and then the other ones you can do as a link. I don't really care, play with it how you want. But let me show you. In here, I want you to in this where it says target and it's got these two quotes, you do underscore blank, and what that does is whenever you click on it, wrong one, whenever you click on that, then when somebody else is looking at it, then it opens it in a new tab, and that really is a nicer way to do it. So I want you to embed at least one. You can embed all of them. I'm fine with that. But if you want to, you can also link, because remember, you got multiples here. Okay? All right, so that's that about the week 2 classwork. So last thing is about me, right? So one thing I'd like to just kind of give you is that I've talked about this in the face-to-face class, and I just want to kind of give you like a little photo essay of my Facebook, and at the same time, talk about Facebook is great, but it's a time killer, right? So make sure you're managing your time appropriately. So some of the photos that it really says a lot about my life is that over the summer I got to see some of my sisters. It was awesome. I help organize tech communities, so these are meetups that I help organize. This is one for women tech makers, so I organize both GDG, which is Google Developer Groups, and women tech makers in Fresno. So here's what I'd like to say, and put this in your notes, is that Meetup, if you don't know about Meetup, man, check out Meetup, because it's a great way to connect with other people that have similar interests of you, especially in tech in Fresno. It's a growing community, but there's a lot of other things out there as well. So the thing that I'm really passionate about is people I love, right? So we're all passionate about that. One of my grandsons here. There's another one down here somewhere. The older grandson, I know I have a picture of him. Oh, that's me as a little baby. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that me. Oh, oh, good. It moved somewhere else. So anyway, that's me as a little one. And that's me in high school. It's crazy. So I have a wonderful, wonderful family life. Here's the nephew or the grandson that I'm teaching how to do some coding. He works on phones. He's like amazing. He wants to work for Google. He's just so cool. So, and here's just us at Thanksgiving. Like, I have a great life. Here's me and my wife at Facebook. We went there to just check it out. It was totally fun, and you know. I was really looking at my life today and realizing how blessed I am. I have a wonderful life. I know wonderful people. And I know sometimes we look around the world and it feels like, the world may not be the greatest place sometimes, but the world is what you make of it. So, make it awesome. Make it awesome, because it is awesome. And it's something that you have the choice about how you live it, right? You have a choice about how you feel about it. So make good choices and turn off TVs and turn off Facebook, right? So I started this, but it's really the idea of, sometimes people when they are posting on Facebook, it really looks like, nobody has any problems. And not that we should all get hung up in that stuff, but stay focused and get your work done and then go play, but be willing to give it the time that it needs. So that's my 2 cents about Rio. We'll see if we get into the classroom in week 3 to do recording. I don't know. These are kind of nice because it helps me to get a little more organized, and sometimes in the classroom it's hard to get to the points and be clear. And even here, sometimes it is. So that is your week 2 classwork. I always recommend doing classwork before the other stuff, especially in these cases where I've covered the items coming and you know what's hitting you. All right? All right, peace out. Enjoy your week. Stay cool.